afternoon to you, my friends. Happy Friday. It's the 28th of March and I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the sewing room and welcome to the midst of me changing everything in here. Over the last couple of weeks I have made a start, and today I got rid of some more stuff so there's more room in here to move around. This afternoon I'm concentrating on everything on this side of the room. So I've just sort of taken down all this bit here. There was a pink shelves here with stuff on it, and I've also taken all the stuff off my desk apart from my computer because I'm currently uploading the last vlog. So the plan is that the desk will go and it will be replaced by two desks, so I'll have a nice long sort of sewing, creating, making space along this wall. I'm actually really quite excited about the desks that I got. I've been looking for ages for something that would fit, and these ones are desks that have built-in pegboards, and they also have shelves up the top, which means even more storage, place to put things, place to hang things, and they've also got space underneath, so I can put these two little cupboards underneath and you still have it as storage, and they'll fit really good in that space along this wall. So because I'm going to have those two desks there, I can't have this design wall here anymore, so I have to take that down. The corkboard's coming down. The design wall is now going to go over on the wall that's behind the door. That's why the filing cabinet's going, so I can have that space. It's a wall and a space that I just don't utilize enough, and there's so much potential for that to be a space that I can use in here. So yeah, that's kind of the plan going forward. You'll see it unfold as we go along. Hopefully everything sort of fits well and looks good. So today I'm going to take all of this down. We'll have a nice bare wall by the end of the day, and tomorrow, which is Saturday, I will hopefully be able to move the filing cabinet out maybe, and then build at least one of the desks just to see it in the space. So yeah, busy couple of days ahead, but I'm excited. It's going to look great, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a different way of working in here, a different type of space that I can set up and make my own, and then be inspired to make really fun, awesome things in here. So let's take down our lovely design wall. I have to take down all of these beautiful blocks and pop them on a hanger so they're all together, and we will definitely come back to this project because I think it looks great. I love the colours, and you know, I only really have a couple more blocks to go until the quilt top's finished, so we will definitely come back to that, but it's got to come down unfortunately. So yeah, let's do it. Well, a very good morning to you, my friends, and happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the sewing room. We are doing lots of changes today. We are hopefully building a couple of desks and yeah, getting a real start on changing this room. A few things have already changed, I'll show you. So obviously I did all the back wall yesterday. Today hopefully the desk will go. Just now we've moved the filing cabinet, and that's one of the desks that I have to build, and the other one is here. But I just got to move my computer, unplug it all and stuff, and then move it over here. But I've got everything that was along this wall on the table, my little shelves, everything that kind of needs a home once everything's sort of put together. It's looking pretty bare, but with lots of potential. Okay, my friends, update. We've got no desk. We've got all of this room to play and move in. So now that that's all done, I've vacuumed everything. I've even like sugar washed the walls because there was like dirty marks everywhere. That's all done now, and I'm going to start constructing one of the desks. See how we go. I'm pretty sure I have enough room in here to build it in situ and then just sort of shove it into place. I've been given a drill to play with and see how we go. It's the kind of power tool I'm not really used to using, but we'll give it a go, see how we go. So we'll crack one open and see how we go. Wish me luck. Okay, my friends, the first desk is all done and I'm really happy with it. It fits really good in the space, and the next one's going to go next to it there, so I think that should work well. It's actually relatively quite easy to build, a little bit fiddly, but I managed to do it by myself and it worked out well. It's nice and stable and nice. So now I'm going to work on the second one, and before I do, if you're interested, this is called the Porter Pegboard Desk in oak and white, and I got it from Temple and Webster. I ordered these online without actually like looking at them, but they do have like all of the measurements on the website, which was really helpful, so I was able to use them. And it was delivered to me within like a week, not even, so I was very happy with that. So through the power of editing, we've got a new desk now. How good is that? Power of editing. Click your fingers and it's done. How wonderful. But those are my two little desks now put together, and they fit really well in the space. I'm so happy. These desks also came with like these shelves and like this little pot that I had to like put together origami style, and then they also have these little hooks there, and then two bigger hooks to do things with. We'll see what we can do with those. I know that they have like accessories for pegboards at Ikea. I might go in and have a look and see what they've got. So the desk that's closest to the window is going to be where my computer is. I'll keep that as it was. And then this one here, I'm actually going to have my sewing machine on so I can actually sit down and sew. And then I can also have the room to do stuff with my embroidery machine. And then the table is going to be a cutting and ironing station. And then here where the filing cabinet was, this is going to be my design wall. I've ordered special like felt tiles to put on the wall that I can hopefully stick things to, so it's going to look a little bit more professional than just like a piece of batting stuck up on the wall. But yeah, I am so happy with that. It turned out really well. Now I'm just going to bring my chair in and hopefully it will fit there. These little cabinets here that held fabric, I'm going to slip them in underneath, and then yeah, we'll just sort of see how things progress, see where things sort of fall and land, and then eventually once things sort of settle down and I get a place for everything, I'm going to get a new sort of shelves here. I'm going to replace this white wire thing and this tall long boy thing here with just one cabinet that has shelves and doors. I found one that's sort of like the perfect thing from Ikea, so we'll replace that eventually, but we're just going to concentrate on this first. Get all the stuff that's from the table here and see how it all works out. So yeah, happy with today's progress. Let's crack on and see how much more we can do today. Okay, my friends, it's a little bit later on in the evening, and I thought I'd just give you a quick little look at what I've done so far. I don't know how much of this is going to like stay like this, but this is kind of the vibe we're going for. You can see I've got my computer there in the corner. I've just put like most of the stuff that was on my desk in the same sort of area, and then this is where I've got my sewing machine. I think a lot of the stuff up the top will possibly change. I'll mix around and see how things go, because there are some things on the table that will possibly end up going over there, like my threads and maybe one of the little drawer things, and yeah, we'll see how things go. There are a couple of extra little things I need to buy just to make the space a little bit easier and more accessible, but possibly do that on Monday. But for a day's work, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. Very happy. Now, I don't know whether you can spot or noticed my lovely little money plant that I made this week while I was away. At the moment, that's where it's landed. Whether it will stay there, I'm not sure, but she's there on our new little setup. So it won't be until Monday that I will get back in here to finish the rest and put everything back in its place. I still have the design wall to fix up. I've got lots of different frames and things to hang up as well. I've got all these ones that were up on the wall there. I do want to do something about this now. I looked at the bookshelf that I want for this space from Ikea today, and I'm pretty sure it's a goer, so we might do that as well. While we're on a roll, I'll purchase that and get that all fixed as well. So yeah, lots of fun changes. The proof in all the changes is, of course, how everything's going to work once I sort of get into a flow of making things and just seeing how the space works. Well, I'll say goodnight because the dog has found his place to sleep for tonight, because it is almost 10:30 at night. So from me and Charlie, good night, and we'll see you on Monday. Well, a very good evening to you, my friends, and happy Sunday. I thought I would just do a really quick update on a few things that I've done in the sewing room today. I have filled this shelf up a little bit more. I've just organised this back wall a little bit more, just sort of sorted a few things out, changed a few things around. I've now started to tackle the sewing table. It looks a little bit different to what it did yesterday. There's not so much stuff on it now, but oh my gosh, it is so dirty. Possibly really shouldn't admit that, but after sort of like taking things away, oh my gosh, in this back corner there's so much dirt and grime and dust. It's not good. You just don't really realize just how like dirty things are until you start taking things away, and you just sort of realize that's gross. How have I let it get so dirty? But anyway, so I think sometime tomorrow I'll possibly take everything off the table and give it a really good like scrub down with soap and water. Just sort of get rid of all of the gross dirty marks and everything. I think the main culprit is it's just dirt and dust that's accumulated after I've like spray basted, because I have sprayed basted a couple of different quilts on this table. I think just the residue of the spray based has just allowed dust and dirt to settle. So yeah, just gotta clean all that up. Tomorrow I'm gonna go into Ikea and have a look at the shelves I want to get for here. You know, I was going to just, you know, wait for maybe a little bit to get them, but you know, now that I'm on a roll, you know, I'm getting everything sort of organized and changed and in new places and everything. May as well just do that now. Get this last little bit sorted, get all of this stuff sorted out as well. There are things on the sewing table that I think would work better placed on the shelves. Yeah, it's all in here, but trust me, I've got it all organized and it's all gonna work out, I think. And yeah, I think it will be definitely for the better to have the shelves there and everything all organized all at once, and then we can just sort of like carry on with life, you know? So yeah, there's the quick little update on the new little space. Obviously, when it is all perfect and I'm really happy with everything, I will give you a full tour, but I will sort of keep updating you as I go along. I'm very excited that things are working out and it looks good. I keep walking past and being all like, oh, looks good. And there's just so much more space now. Like walking into this room, it's like, wow, it's just opened the space up so much. And I tell you what's also been really good is getting rid of a lot of things that I just don't need or use anymore. Having a real good clear out and just sort of doing that whole what brings joy, what sparks joy. Did I forget that I had this? Yes. Okay, well it goes. Will I ever see myself using this particular thing or gadget? No? Okay, well it goes. It's been that kind of purge, and also just letting go of a lot of stuff that I've done in the past and that's just not really serving me anymore. I'm like, oh, I don't need any of this stuff. It's all going. So it's been really good to sort of just you know, appreciate the things that I've had and then let go and move on from them. Am I making sense? I'm not sure if I am, but yeah, it's just been really good just to sort of let go of a lot of things and get rid of stuff that I just don't need anymore, you know? Gosh. But anyway, I could ramble on about that for ages, but I'm not. So over this week, I will continue on and get this place exactly how I want it, and then I'll give you the update, and then we can start sewing and getting things done. Happy days. Well, a very good morning to you, my friends, and happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? It's the 1st of April. Oh my gosh, April Fools. It's alright. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Next stage in the sewing room refresh, I have cleared the sewing table. Everything that I've sort of kept on the table is now on the floor, and I'm about to give it a really good scrub and clean. I've just done a bowl of sugar soap because I found that that worked really well on all of the grubby bits on the walls on Saturday, so I thought it would be perfect to get rid of some of the grime and grease that's on the table. Like I said the other day, it's mainly because I used to baste on this table, and so all of the glue from the spray base is sort of just like made all the dust all like congealed and yuck. So the sugar soap, I think, will get rid of it all and make the table look all nice and fresh and clean again. You can't tell on camera, but it's really gross at the back there. So we'll give this a nice good scrub and make it all nice and clean and perfect again. Happy days. Quickly popped out to the holy grail of all furniture shops, Ikea. You can see it. Yeah, can you see? Ikea. Because I'm now up to the point where I'm ready to get my new bookcase in that little section that I showed you just by the door. So we'll pop in and grab that. I'm pretty sure they have it in stock. I saw it online. And I don't know when I'm going to build it because I won't have time today. Possibly won't have time tomorrow. It'll be a Thursday job, I think, that I can get that built and sorted out. So I thought I'd get it today so it's there and it's ready to go when I'm ready to build it. So hopefully the boxes will fit my car. I recently got a new car, so it is bigger than my old car, but I think I might have to like take seats down and insert things, and yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get there, I think. Let's go tackle the labyrinth that is Ikea and get the things we need. Happy days. Ikea shopping haul all done. One of the boxes is really long and it just fits in my car. I had to sort of like move everything. I had to move this front seat like right up to be able to fit it all in, and then take down the seat in the back, but it all fits happily. So the next hurdle is getting it all in the house because it's actually really quite heavy. I didn't realize for such a little bookshelf it's actually quite heavy, but anyway, we'll deal with that when we get there. Okay my friends, it's a little bit later on in the afternoon and I think I will spend the rest of the day putting everything back on this table. I've let it sort of dry for a couple of hours while I was out at Ikea. We'll just sort of get the table space organized to the way that I want it. So the table now, as I said previously, sometime it will still be my little cutting station, but then the other side where my machine used to be, I'm going to have that as my pressing ironing station. I bought one of those ironing wool mat things that people use for pressing on tabletops and stuff. So I brought one that was sort of big enough to kind of fit the space and be appropriate for pressing and stuff like that. I actually won't have an ironing board set up in here anymore. When it comes to the point where I need to like press quilt tops or bigger sort of things, I'll just simply get the ironing board out in the kitchen and press out there. I mean, it's no problem. Or I can always just bring the ironing board in here, press, and then put it back. I felt like I didn't really need a big ironing board in here because it took up a lot of space. Yeah, we're just gonna change it up and use like a little pressing station on the table and see how that works. While I was at Ikea, I actually did buy a couple of extra things. The first one was this little plastic bin thing that you kind of fold up. You fold the little bottom up and it creates a little basket like that. It's advertised as like a waste bin, but I'm not going to use it as a waste bin. What I'm going to do is I'm possibly going to either screw it to the back of the door or inside the wardrobe and use it to hold all of our like wrapping paper rolls, because they're all under my sewing table at the moment and it's a bit of a fuss and faff to get them out, and you don't really know what you've got and they sort of roll all the way to the back of the desk and it's just like, ugh. So if I can make that a little bit more accessible for both me and my mum, because we're the ones that do the wrapping in our household, so hopefully this will make just that a little bit easier and store our wrapping paper a lot better too. Then I bought 2 of these little basket things. These are sort of like those shelves that clip underneath the shelf, and so you've got extra space under and in between shelves. I've got this sort of little bookshelves that are under my desk, you can't see. Because I now don't have any drawers on my desk, there are things that were in my drawers that I'm like, I don't know where to put them now. So I'm going to put that in my little bookshelf cubby thing here, so I have a place for all of my paper and notebooks and stuff like that. And then underneath the more sort of other desky accessories that usually put in a drawer. Very good morning to you, my friends, and happy Friday. It's the 4th of April. Yeah, oh my gosh, this week has just flown by. How is it April already? It's crazy. So we are deep into the sewing room refresh. I think I'm like on the downward path, or like I'm getting close to the end. Like the final things are happening. I mean, the main thing was getting the desks set up and all that. And this is pretty much done. It's now just sort of like a dumping ground for all of the stuff that I'm still trying to find a home for. But yesterday I built the bookshelf. I didn't film it or film a lot of it yesterday, mainly because, you know, you didn't need to see me rolling around on the floor again building a bookshelf, but I'm really happy with it. It looks really, really great. Now I'm just trying to figure out fabric storage, because I have all the fabric that came out of that one little tall boy bookshelf, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put it all back, but in a really nice, lovely, aesthetic way that's kind of like organized. And I think I have a solution. So here's all the fabric that was in that little bookshelf and what I need to sort out. Here's the dog with his monkey, just being the supervisor that he is. Hi, puppy. And here is the bookshelf in all her glory. Just ignore the vacuum cleaner. But you can see I've got these crates here. I bought these collapsible crates from Kmart the other day, thinking, oh, I might be able to find a spot for them in my sewing room. I might be able to use them for something. So I bought the small one and the medium, thinking, you know, we'll give two a go and see what happens. And I'm thinking of using the medium one. I like the small one. I might use that for something else. But stacking two of the medium ones here, two here, and then two there, and doing the whole thing of like folding the fabric all nice and neatly in color sort of rows, and yeah, just having them stacked on the shelf. And then in the spaces next to it I could have all of my bundles and other sort of fabrics like that. So I think that will look pretty cool. I like that it's a pop of color. I like that the fabric will sort of be contained. I can then also organize the fabric in like colorways, so I can have like a basket that has whites, creams and yellows, another one that has maybe like pinks and reds, you know, that kind of thing. I do need to buy some more, and because they're actually from Kmart, they're cheap and I like cheap. I like things that don't cost a lot. I think either today or over the weekend I'll go out and buy a couple more so I can get the bookshelf done. And then once that's finished, we can put our attention to the design wall. I am actually thinking of keeping this tall bookshelf and putting it here next to my desk and have that for all of my solid fabric. One of the big things I really wanted to do with this sewing room refresh was to actually have a dedicated place that's organized for all of my solid fabric, because at the moment all of my solid fabrics look like this. They're in a basket and in a spotlight bag, all folded up, and yeah, I'm always using solid fabrics in the things that I make, and I'm just sick of having to rummage through that bag and that basket to find solid fabric that I want to use. So if I'm able to like stack it all and have it all nice and neat in colorway on a shelf, that would just be so much easier. So I think that's what's going to happen. It will fit in this space. I'll have to move the ladder and pop it here, I think, and then my gorgeous little mannequin, her name is Daisy for anybody playing along, she will also fit there as well next to it. And I'm still not sure whether I'm going to put a quilt up. I really quite like that I have access to the wardrobe now, because I do actually have stuff in there that I will use. I've got all my Christmas fabrics in there. I've got all of my whips and projects to finish in there. And what's something else that I have in there? I have all my art stuff, so if I want to do something a little bit more crafty, I've got it in there. And I've got my tripods in there. So it's kind of important that I have access to the wardrobe now. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to have a quilt hanging up, but that's okay. There's enough lovely things to look at in here. But yeah, that's just where we're landing today. That's what we will be working on today. I'll see how well some of this fabric fits in that little medium crate. And yeah, we'll continue just getting everything kind of in the right place and the way that I like it. So yeah, happy Friday guys. Let's crack on and see how well we go today. very good morning to you, my friends, and happy Monday. Welcome back to the sewing room. We are still on the mission of getting this room just right. I feel like I've been doing it for a billion years, but it's only been a week and a bit. But today we're going to be focusing on the design wall and getting that all done and finished. It's kind of like one of the last big things I got to do in here to make this room look good. It's kind of, yeah, it's like the last element that needs to be done pretty much. Over the weekend I've been figuring all this out. This is the bookshelf with all of the fabrics in it. I feel like I folded about 10,000 different fabrics, but I'm pretty much happy with all of that. I just have one last little drawer to fill with something, but everything else is coming along really well, and we should be able to get this finished this week. I haven't tackled what's underneath the sewing desk yet, but that's for another time. I think I'm just gonna leave that and do that in my own time. But today we're gonna do the design wall. So a couple of weeks ago I did some research on Amazon and found some felt wall tiles that I think will work really well in this space. The package came about a week later and I haven't opened it yet. I haven't looked to see what they're like, but they are a tile that's about that big. I think they're like 30 centimeters square, and it will fit a space of 90 by 120, so I got double the sort of like quantity, so I could do a bigger, longer space. I didn't spend a whole lot on these, but I am worried that it's not going to be the right thing, or it's just not going to really work. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, we've got 2 boxes of like pins, which I possibly won't use. And now we take off the next layer. It's like pass the parcel. Aha. Ooh, interesting. Gosh, packaged so well. Get out. 1 and 2. So much packaging. It's insane. Why so much packaging? Okay, let's get one out. So this is what we're working with. It's a really stiff felt tile. It does have a bit of a beveled edge, but I'm okay with that. And then I think it's got like a sticky bit on the back, yeah, that you then stick to the wall. Hopefully that should be alright. With a couple of them sort of next to each other, it's just going to be, yeah, a white wall of felt square tiles. Now I don't think fabric is actually going to stick to this. Why do I not have any fabric anywhere? Right, let's test. Fabric's not going to stick to it, but that's okay. No, there are ways to work around that. One thing that we can do is I've got a whole tin of these little entomology pins that will be perfect to simply just pin blocks in the corner like so. Might not be ideal, but it just is what it is, you know. If I end up not liking the pin idea, I can always just like tack a piece of batting to the felt tiles just to see if that helps. But I think that's what we're working with. Right, I'm going to do some measuring on the wall. I've got my little spirit level to make sure everything's nice and straight, and yeah, we'll see how we go putting this stuff up. So the first 12 have been popped up on the wall, and I think it looks pretty good. I made sure that it was nice and even up the top, and it's relatively gone pretty easy as I'm putting them on. Some of them I think are not like cut totally straight, so there are sort of like a few little wonky bits where things don't sort of match up, but that's only if you get up really close. But I'm really happy with that. I've got another 12 to put in this section here, so I have a nice long sort of design wall. I think that works really well in the space, and I've centered it pretty good. Very happy with that. And ta-da! It's all done. It's a little bit longer than what I thought, but that's okay. I didn't want it too high up so that I couldn't reach. So I did about 30 centimeters down, so about the same size as the square from the top to where I started. And then it goes down to almost the ground, but not too far. But I'm pretty happy with the size. I don't often make quilts bigger than this, but if I do, I'll figure it out, don't worry. And I can always order more and cut them down and add them into the bits where I might need a little bit more room, but we're just going to leave it for the moment, see how things go, and yeah, see how it works out. And this is the mess we are left with after peeling off all of the papers from the back of the felt tiles. So I've got to do something about this. I have a huge bag of rubbish here, and you can just sort of see it out the door. I've got lots of different bits of cardboard from all of my bits of furniture that needs to go. Well, a very good morning to my friends and happy Wednesday. It's the 9th of April and time is just flying by, isn't it? Oh my goodness. I'm just off out today just to get a couple of more extra storage things. So those sort of like pink and red collapsible crates that I put some of my fabrics in, I'm going to get the next size up and use them underneath my sewing desk or underneath the sewing table to put all of my bigger sort of bits of fabric, because yesterday I cleaned out all of underneath the sewing table. I didn't film any of it because I was rolling around on the floor covered in dust and grime, and yeah, it just wasn't the most prettiest thing to film, to be honest. And that's all now organized, and I just gotta get those last little crates to put the rest of my fabric in, and that's done. And then it's just like lots of little things like finding a right length power board to put where my sewing machine is so I can have power to my sewing machine. Doing the last vacuum, taking all the rubbish out. You never realize just how much rubbish you accumulate when you sort of like buy new things. And by rubbish I mean like actual like plastic and styrofoam and cardboard and just so much rubbish. Yeah, our bins just aren't coping. We're 95% done, and hopefully tomorrow is Thursday, so I need to get the last edit done tomorrow because I want to upload the video on Friday. So yeah, by tomorrow we'll have it finished, last edits and filming, and then yeah, we can get into the sewing room and have some fun and start sewing. We can do it. We can do it. We're so close and it looks so good, and there's just so much more room in there. Like, it's gonna be good, guys. And like, I've really taken the opportunity to make the space the way I wanted it, organized, tidy, and still with more room to move or to add. And I've also gotten rid of a lot of stuff, which feels really freeing and nice. So yeah, as hard as it has been and frustrating and sort of like exhausting, it's been just a really good cathartic thing to do and really make it a workspace that will work for me and work for you and create endless possibilities of fun times and creativity. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm rambling now. Let's go. I've got things to do. Let's go do them. Very good afternoon to you, my friends, and happy Thursday. It is a very happy day indeed because I finally finished this room. The sewing room is officially refreshed and ready to go, and I am so happy. I'm very, very excited to show you everything that I've done. The dog's just come in to join us as well. So I know that this vlog is pretty long, and I thank you so much for being patient and following me along on the journey of getting this room where it is now. I think I've definitely achieved the goal that I wanted, and that was to make this room into one that I was excited to come back into, to be inspired to be in and to create more, and to have the space to create more, and to also set it up in a way that will help as I get older. I mean, I'm not even 40 yet and I'm saying I'm getting older, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, I now have the sewing machine at a desk where I can sit at, whereas like for the last 10-15 years I've been sewing standing up, and I'm just finding that, yeah, it's getting a bit much. But anyway, enough of me talking and rambling. I'm going to give you a nice lovely tour of my brand new sewing room. It's not brand new, but it's nice and clean and fresh and lovely. I'll try and keep it as sort of like as precise and kind of like rolling along, because you've seen pretty much most of it. So yeah, I'll just give you a really quick little, you know, guide around, and yeah, just sort of show all of the lovely fun bits that I've been working on. So let's go to the door and I'll show you what it looks like. Yay! Okay, here we are at the door, and this is what it looks like when you walk into the room. Just for show, I've put all the lights on, so I've turned the machine on. I've got the light on my desk here and my light there, as well as the big room light. It's a little bit different to what it was. So we've got the 2 desks all set up. The original sewing desk all set up for cutting and for pressing. I put my little house block there, done a little bit of changing here. We got our bookshelf here. This is the wastebasket I got from Ikea with all of our rolls in. And then of course we've got the new design wall here behind the door. I've got a couple of my embroidery hoops on the back of the door, a blackboard for things. I've changed up some of the artwork on this wall here. This flower one and this hand embroidered flower design used to be on the wall over there, but now I've changed it. So I put them here with all of my sewing pins, my really fun Mickey print. And then on the side of the bookshelf, I've put up my hook rack thing. I got this for my birthday from my mum. And then I've got just all of my hexie flower blocks that are waiting to go into another quilt just hanging there too. And then on the side, I put all of those rolls there. Moving over to the bookshelf, I've left all of my ribbons and my beads up the top like before. And then you've seen me talk about these. These are the crates that have all of the different fabrics in it. I've got 6 there, and I've actually labeled them as well so I know what's in them. So up the top we have greys and blacks, a sort of ducks and canvases. Here I've got some pre-cuts and kits I've got, and some of my colouring stuff. Next shelf down has blues and teals and greens, and then some of my Somo scissors, and I made the little cardboard monstera that I bought while I was on holiday a couple of weeks ago. I made that with my niece Amelia. The next shelf down is all my whites, creams, tans, browns, yellows, oranges, pinks, reds and purples. I put these ones down on the lower shelf because they're actually really heavy and I didn't want to have them on the top shelf and getting them down and hurting myself. We do look at OH&S in this room. I've got some more bundles here, and this is a whole bunch of like my fat quarters and flat fats from Spotlight. I have a whole ton of them in there. Next shelf is all of my books, and I have been longing for the day that I can display my books like this. Some of these are real sentimental favorites. Some of them are also just some of my absolute favorite books as well. So we've got a whole range of quilting, sewing, textiles, dressmaking, and some fun Disney ones at the end there. These 2 drawers are jam-packed full. The top one has all of my embroidery threads and accessories in there as well. I've also got some of my stabilizers in there too. I really had to do a good sort of Tetris on that drawer, as well as the bottom drawer, which has like all of my cards and wrapping, gift bags, bubble wrap, all that kind of stuff, because it's down near all of the the paper wrap stuff. Moving on to the sewing table, I also refer to this as my sewing desk. Table, desk, same thing. I really should call it a table because it is a big, huge table that I got when I was working at Spotlight years and years and years ago. They were going to get rid of it. I'm like, can I take it? And they're like, yes. So Dad and I took it down one very early morning, put it in our car and brought it to our house. So I was very lucky that I was able to get this wonderful table from Spotlight for free. So as I mentioned, this is going to stay as a cutting station, and it's also going to now be my pressing station as well because I don't have an ironing board in here anymore. So on the top we've just got all of my rotary blades and all of my other sort of accessories that I use. All of my rulers are all stacked up. All of these drawers have lots of bits and bobs, zippers and things. Here is a really cool sneak peek of the upcoming quilt along. Can you guess what the theme's going to be? Let me move the tin. This has just got lots of scraps in it, but there's a sneak peek of a block. Hopefully you can see what it is. This is not how it's going to be. This is just a test, so it's all just scraps. Along the back I have my overlocker and some little Matchbox quilt kits I still need to make. Sometime in the future I think I need to make a cover for my overlocker, so if anybody knows any good patterns, then shoot them my way. The plastic cover is just not doing justice anymore. It's filthy and horrible. So yeah, we need to change that soon. Up on the wall, I've left that just as it is, but I've moved my little house block to the other side and we're going to start filling up this side with little mini quilts. And then in the corner I have my pink shelves that I had on the opposite wall. In the roses tin I have all of my finished hexie flowers ready to be put on and made into blocks. I have my great have courage and be kind quote from both Cinderella and Walt Disney. If you ever see this owl in the background, this was made for me by a wonderful customer when I was working at Spotlight. She was a great regular and she made this for me when I was leaving the first time I left Spotlight, and it's always been something in my sewing room. So that owl has lots of lovely memories. What's in the basket and this little pile here are just like little sewing projects I need to finish. All the fabrics in here are from my Love and Kisses blocks that I've been making. And then in the back corner here we have some little templates, and in the tin is a couple of other little projects that need to be done. I'm now moving to our new ironing station. This is the wool ironing mat that I purchased. I got this from Spotlight, and this is the real big one. It's 43 by 61 centimeters. It's by a brand called So Easy. I love So Easy stuff. They have great rulers. I got the big one because I knew that it would fit in this space and it'd be good for pressing and stuff like that. I've also got my little basket full of pressing things, my sprays, my pressing ham, a little container for my water, and then this is like lint brushes that I use as well. And then of course my amazing Oliso Pro iron. Now underneath the sewing table, it's all changed a bit as well. These are the two big crates that I got yesterday, and I spent the afternoon folding up all the different fabrics that weren't big enough to go on the bookshelf. So I've got two crates there, just full of fabrics. And then I actually have another 3 containers. I have one there and then 2 like right at the back that I didn't touch, and they're full of fabric as well. I always have tissues close to hand. But here in the back, this is like all of my craft stuff, all of my hand embroidery stuff. It goes all the way at the back, but it's all organized. And then along the bottom here, this is all changed a bit. I've got my 2 other brother sewing machines. This is my original machine that I had before the one that I've got now. And then this one is my embroidery machine and the embroidery module next to it. And then we've got 2 boxes of scrap fabrics. This is all the fabrics I use when I do my hexies. So any spare fabric that's big enough to make a hexie goes in there. And then any sort of strip fabric goes in there. And then we have a dog. Hello, what are you doing? Why are you so sad, puppy? Then we pan around to our wonderful desks, and a lot of stuff that was on the sewing table has now migrated to this side. So in the corner we have my wonderful big Mac, and this is what I do all of my editing on. And now in lieu of having drawers in these desks, I got this little monitor stand from Ikea, and this just got a whole bunch of stuff in there They used to be on my drawers. And then there's a really great sort of spot in there. That's where I keep my diary that I use to keep me on track. Then up above, I've got all of my recording equipment. This has more camera stuff in it as well. We've got some tins here that have just lots of sewing notions in it. This has actually got a puzzle in it. I got this for Christmas, but I love the tin. Just really, really cool. Haven't done the puzzle yet though. Above that, I've just popped another one of my favorite hand embroidery pieces that I've done. On the side here, I've put a lot of the ones that were already here previously, but I've also put my little monkey up there. I made that a very long time ago when I was studying art. Up on the pegboard, I've just pretty much put a lot of the stuff that was on my desk previously in this little section here. It all works very well for me. Moving along up the top, we've got Buzz and these 3 aliens. And then I decided to move my rack of threads on this side as well because we are right next to the sewing machine. It just made sense to put them there. And then underneath I have all of my Katie and the Machine labels, and then these have like pins in it. Then I've got to hand some of my craft stuff, so I've got lots of glues here that I use. This stuff is great for anything that needs just a little dab of glue around the house. This is amazing. And then I've got like my art brushes and stuff like that, buttons, and then a whole tin full of patterns, stickers, little sort of like notebooks. Yeah, lots of fun things in there. I did move my May or Bob and always be full little wall hanging from the corner here to here. I thought that looked pretty good there, and it kind of balances out that as well. Moving down, this is now my little sewing area. So of course I've got my wonderful machine, and in behind it I have all of my little sewing go-tos. So I've got my little snips, and I've also got my unpicker as well. I've got pencils, just little things that I need to quickly grab when I'm sewing. I'm not sure whether this is going to stay here because you can see I barely moved it and it's like wobbling, so you just got to breathe on it and it falls, so I'm not sure whether that's going to stay there. At the moment I've just hung my Love and Kisses blocks here on the pegboard, but they need to go up on the design wall. I've got all of my overlocking threads, and this is just all of my different pins that I got from Somo. This has got pins in it as well, and this has got some thimbles in it, and then my amazing basting clips. And I've been really loving these little mini clips from Somo. They're like these sort of like wire ones, but they're really strong, almost like wired pegs. You can't really see because it won't focus, but these have been a really big favorite of mine lately. And then just to the side I've just got all of my different scissors I use. Orange ones are my fabric scissors, black ones are my paper scissors, and I also have some pinking shears as well. So when I'm ready to sew, I will be moving the chair over to this side so I can sew. But next to it I put one of those little shelf rack things that has all of the accessories for my machine, my quilting gloves, and then just some spare fabrics to sew on. And then underneath we've got those 2 little small bookshelves. This is all Patreon stuff that you will know about very, very soon. I've got some more embroidery things, more embroidery threads, and different projects to do. And then the next one, you saw this earlier, I've got another one of those shelf racks that has all of my notebooks and all of my other desk accessories, a printer that I never use, and more Patreon things that, again, you will know what they all are very, very soon. Oh, here comes the dog. Hello. Hi, puppy. Oh, now it's your turn to say hi. Are you part of the tour as well? Thank you, puppy. That's very nice. Good boy. Eh? Very good. You're so clever. Yeah. Oh, and then quickly next to the desks we have the long bookshelf that has been moved from one side of the room to another. Now don't judge me on how messy this looks. I've just sorted out all of my solids by colour and just shoved them into the shelves, and I will fold them another day. I've kind of reached my limit on folding fabrics at the moment, and I was like, that'll do, just shove them in and it'll be fine. I'll do it another day, so don't judge me on that. And then tucked in the corner we have my lovely mannequin. Her name is Daisy. Up the top here, this is all of my English paper piecing stuff, so it's got all of my different hexies in it, and then the top one has all of the hexies that are already covered and ready to be pieced together. And then we make it back around to the door where the design wall is, and the dog has made his home right in front of it. Good boy, Charlie. Hey, yeah, you're a part of this too, aren't you? Yes, Was that good boy? My design wall is still slightly untested. I mean, you saw in the vlog how fabrics don't stick to it and I have to pin it, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm very happy with this, and I'm really glad that I now have this space to work with as well. If you remember, there used to be a filing cabinet here and it just couldn't use that side of the room at all. But there is now so much room here. I'm even contemplating on maybe like getting a really cute rug to go here. But yeah, there's just a lot of room, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So there you have it, my friends. There is my lovely sewing room refresh. I keep saying it, I am so happy with how it all turned out, and I'm excited to get in and start making and creating. You've seen a sneak peek of what's coming for the quilt along. I'm excited to get into that. If you didn't really quite get the design, the theme for the next quilt along is houses. I've designed and tested 9 different house blocks that I'm really happy with, and yeah, I can't wait to share them with you, but I will talk about that in another video, not this one. All of the new things that I bought for my sewing room I have listed below in the description box. If in any way I have inspired you to redo the space that you have, I know that I am extremely lucky to have my own room to dedicate to my hobby, my passion, and also very lucky that I have the freedom to be able to make the space into what I want and into how I know that I will be able to work in it. And of course, I'm also very lucky that you are here watching me do it and cheering me on and giving me some encouragement. It's always really lovely to read comments that just inspire and encourage. So you are all very cherished, and I love having you here in our community. Yeah, hopefully moving forward we can learn some things together and make some wonderful things together as well. So here's to the future. Here's to the new leaf of the channel, of 3 3/4 of whatever it is we're doing here. We're moving into a new era and giving it another red hot go. So yeah, I hope you can join me along the way, and we'll have some fun together making and creating. So thank you, my friends, for being so patient and getting to the end of this. I think it's a pretty long vlog. I hope the wait was worth it. So until next time, my friends, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you another time very soon. Bye bye.